He's got another number one. He's got another number one. Dierks Bentley. Good morning, man.
That feels pretty good. I'm going to make that my ringtone. That feels pretty good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. This is now your 21st, in case you're keeping track.
Wow, so all your number ones are legal now.
That's right. They can all go drinking.
That's right. Appropriate song. Beer's on me.
That's right. That's right. Makes sense. Totally makes sense. So do you, when you get do you have a, now, it's not old hat, but it kind of, 21's quite a bit. Do you still have a routine, a certain thing that you do to celebrate?
Well, I mean, everything's new after COVID, so yeah, it's going to feel good to get back together and have a proper number one party with the guys I wrote this song with, and it is special though. I mean, it's Breland's very first number one as a singer, as a songwriter, and so that's exciting for me. And the way it all came about was so organic. My friendship with him was just, came about from reading an article in the Nashville scene newspaper. So yeah, it's for that reason alone, it's special, but it's always, hard to get a number one and always special when it happens. So it feels pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
It feels better every time, honestly.
Yeah. It's also nice to be able to share it, because I think at this point, I mean, you're kind of, you're in a different role. You're like a mentor.
Elder. I was watching the Preds. I was thinking, there's the guys on the bench and there's the guys that kind of stand behind the bench, the coaches, the trainers, and the staff. And yeah, I'm kind of moved in between worlds a little bit. I still get a chance to go out there and play, but I also enjoy kind of standing back a little bit and hanging out with some of the younger guys like Hardy and Breland and get a chance to, mentor them. I don't know if they need my help or not, but I'm there when needed, and it's a fun role to be in for sure.
It's funny because I swore at one point you were about to say elder statesman.
I did too. I was like, I like that.
I thought that's what you were going to say. I'm like, you can go ahead and call me that.
I know. I didn't want to. No, I think I started to, and I was like, no, don't do that. That's
you're far too young to be an elder statesman.
You're beating around the bush a little bit there.
No.
You're stumbling over your words a little bit. You're like, how do I say this kindly that you're getting older? Okay.
No.
You can say it.
No, I'm not. I can, but I'm not. It's not true. Dierks Bentley, it's Beers on Me. Here you go. Breland, Hardy, and Dierks, number one song in the country right now. We got more with Dierks coming up. Dierks Bentley is joining us, and Beers on Me, the number one song, and this is his second number one song from an upcoming album that still hasn't even been announced. What is this about?
Well, I mean, it all started with Colorado and COVID and living out there and never wanted to come back to Nashville. I was pretty happy being out there. I had the whole family out there, kids going to school there. All, it was nice to kind of, take off the role of country singer and just be the role of a, regular guy and all the outdoor activities available. But so I was kind of putting out singles to kind of delay the return to Nashville, make the album process. So I put Gone out, and that bought me some more time to be gone. And then put Beers on Me out there. But to make a long story short, we moved back to Nashville in January. It's been the best thing. I just kind of fell in love with the city again. Moved locations, and I'm at a place now where I can walk to coffee shops and walk to food and don't have to be driving all the time. And it just kind of changed my whole perspective on Nashville. And I think just COVID too, being gone, just the gratitude I have for the city and how great it's been for me and how great it is for my kids. I needed to kind of step away for a little bit. So I'm back here full time making music. I'm so excited about the album. This is my third attempt to make this album, and it probably won't come out for a while. I think I'm going to put out one more single before we put the album out. The album's going to sound a little different than these last two singles, so I'm not even sure if these two songs will make it on the album. It might just be my COVID releases, and the album might be a totally different thing. We'll see, but I'm having fun making music, looking forward to touring, and it's been great to be back.
By a little different, what are you talking about? I mean, like, because you've already done like the bluegrass leaning stuff. I mean, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel like I'm always trying to search for new ground, but in a way, I'm always going back to the source of what turned me on about country music, and that is the bluegrassy element. That is the traditional element. It's the station in. It's the Grand Ole Opry. It's those sounds mixed with big drums and big electric guitars and music that feels good in an arena, feels good in an amphitheater, but still feels traditional and bluegrassy in some way. And I feel like the songs that are going to come out off the album are going to lean a little heavier on those acoustic instruments and those traditional sounds that still have a bigger feel. And so that's it's hard to put music in words, but just kind of taking ownership of that little space I carved out for myself with that those sounds.
Well, I think that, it's no secret, Up on the Ridge, that whole project was just unbelievable. As a fan of country music, I thought it was cool. Like you and Miranda duetting with all the bluegrass instruments and all. I'm like, man,
that's good, man.
This is amazing. So if you're hinting at something even slightly like that, I'm really, really excited.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I'm in my truck right now. I listen to you guys all the time, but if I'm not listening to y'all, I probably am listening to Tony Rice or, Billy Strings or some bluegrass stuff. I just love the energy of that music. And to me, it is country music. It's spiritual country music. So I kind of go back and forth between worlds, not to plug my own festival, Seven Peaks Festival, but that festival is who I am. I love country radio. I love 90s country, and I love bluegrass music, and that's why we have it all there at that one spot. And that's why, I go back and forth between you guys and my bluegrass collection. I love all types of country music, and I try to get that in my albums.
Speaking of, we'll talk about the Seven Peaks. This is a huge event. Dierks Bentley is our guest. We're kind of right back with Dierks. Hang tight. Dierks Bentley joining us, and, it's going to be huge. Seven Peaks Fest, and it is stacked this year, Dierks. I mean, you got you, Morgan, Tracy Lawrence, let's go. Ashley.
I like how you put Tracy Lawrence right there at the top. That's how I feel about him.
Oh, me too, man.
Lawrence, y'all.
Patrick, hey, come here real quick. Do you remember when you were Patrick was at something at Bridgestone Arena, and people were being introduced, and it was like so-and-so. Oh, it was
it was the George Jones
Memorial, right.
There were like 175 people playing that night, and I just remember everybody, you could kind of gauge how people felt about everybody by how big the applause was.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. More people applauded for Garth and George and Alan Jackson than people with only 3 or 4 hits. That
right.
had,
I understand. Yeah.
But the reaction to Tracy Lawrence was so much bigger than even I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And that was when I kind of went, I think Tracy Lawrence is underrated.
Yes.
I think people don't give Tracy Lawrence enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. And he, he's one. It's him and McGraw and Chesney. Those are the 3 that came out together. And of course, McGraw and Chesney have stacks of awards and whatnot. But overall long-term picture, great country vocalist, great country singer. Tracy Lawrence will go down as one of the greats. And he played our Seven Peaks Festival back in 2019. And man, he's been on your show. He's just so good. He's so fun to talk to. He loves country music. He loves the business. There's no bitterness. He's just happy.
Yes.
He had so much fun at our festival. He plays 90s night. And he's cool doing that, even though he had hits in the 2000s. He's got the rep in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And, people out there in the crowd wearing fake mullet wigs and, pit viper glasses. And he grabbed one and put a fake mullet wig on under, under his hat. And was just owning it. And he should. And he's coming back. He told me, he goes, I'll come back every year. I mean, it's a little hard to get to, but once you get out there, you never want to leave. And he did that. Miranda Lambert, she was there. She had a plane lined up to fly out after her show. She walked off stage. She's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here for the whole weekend.
Oh, wow.
So it's a fun deal. Yeah, we got Morgan Wallen's playing it, which is huge. Hardy's going to be out there. You said Ashley McBride and Travis Denning and Jordan Davis. And it's a huge lineup. Of course, the Hot Country Nights will be there. Which,
of course.
That's what everyone wants to know.
I heard there was a feud between you and the Hot Country Nights. Is that off now?
Oh, I hate those guys. But, I can't get rid of them. So, and people like them for some reason. So I just let them kind of hang around
a
little bit.
I don't blame you. Well, it's going to be huge. Seven Peaks.
Yeah.
It's almost like talking to a professional wrestler. I always hate it. I always feel weird about it.
It's like having the Undertaker on.
I never know what the line is.
Dierks, when Doug Douglason was here that day and not Dierks Bentley, D was so uncomfortable before and after that. He goes, that was the most uncomfortable day I've ever had.
So glad it was over. I was like, God.
Well, he'll be back. I'm sure Doug will be back in some form. Those guys are itching to make another record, so watch out.
All right. Speaking of accolades, I know everybody's probably said it, but congratulations, Dierks Bentley, for being inducted into the Walk of Fame for country music in Music City.
Thanks.
So, hey, that's a big deal.
It was a big deal. That was a big day. My mom came into town. They did the whole thing. My kids were there for it. But we went to the Preds game afterwards, and the Preds did a really cool thing. Jumbotron, and I just forgot how much time I spent with the Preds, with their skating around the players or goofing around in the locker room and whatnot. So it was really cool to see that on the big screen. And special day for sure.
I caught about 1 out of every 8 words of
you
that.
You had a bad sell there.
We got you. Dierks Bentley, everyone. Make sure you go support him. He's at Dierks Bentley. You can't miss him. And also, you can get all the information at Seven Peaks Fest as well. Dierks, thanks again, man. Always good talking to you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man.
Do I have a bad cell service?
It's
better now.
Just for a second.
It's fine. It's fine.
Just that one spot there the whole time?
No, just that one time.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're all good. All right, man.
I'm not here in the Natchez Trace.
Oh, nice. Well, good. Listen,
nowhere. So.
We'll talk to you soon. Next time, let's actually talk about airplanes and none of the stupid music.
Seriously, I can't believe we actually got through what we're not talking about.
Well, we didn't because we're still talking.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right, that's your good point.
Bye, Dierks.
See you, man. Later.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, if you like that video, go ahead and subscribe and like and hit the bell and do all the stuff.